Mommy, Dad, and Dearest came out before Nick's trial. I posted part 1 and I finally just watched the second half, and good grief, it's not any better. So we start off the second half, the Gypsy 5 years old at a cheerleading practice. All the other little girls are paying attention, standing up. Meanwhile, Gypsy Rose is on the floor. Dee Dee's trying to get her attention. She obviously was different, not like the other little girls. They show Nick in the interrogation just telling the truth, because it's all he did was tell the truth. He still completely believes that they're in love. Aaron Lee Carr starts insulting Nick, talking bad about Nick, but doesn't say anything bad about Gypsy. Meanwhile, his family is like, he's quiet, he's autistic, he does hyperfixate on things. The mom says that she tried to break them up and it just wasn't happening. And one thing, we will truly never know how Dee Dee felt about Nick. This part I didn't understand. They showed like a Beauty and the Beast, like erotic photo, and Nick commented on it saying, "We can relate to this from the opposites of it, sweetie." So is he referring to her as the Beast and he's Belle? I don't know what he meant by that. She's the dominant one? She's claiming that she did not want to get into BDSM, but he just talked her into it. She was telling this man that she's been sexual since she was 4. That she kissed a girl when she was 10. She has said a lot of inappropriate things to Nick. She's a very hypersexual person. She's kinky, and if she wants to be kinky, she can be kinky, but like she's basically saying that Nick forced her to be kinky, but that's not true. Now Gypsy's bringing up Allie, Nick's ex, and saying how that Allie got a hold of her and was like, "He's evil. He thinks he's a vampire and he's into BDSM." Well, Gypsy didn't seem to mind because she was also into BDSM and the whole vampire thing. She loved Twilight. If he was so bad and so horrible, why did she stay with him? She found him on a dating site. There's plenty of other guys. Why didn't she just go find a new guy if he was so weird and creepy? She was just as weird and fucking creepy. They showed how he got arrested at McDonald's, and then they showed Gypsy laughing, being like, "I don't know what was wrong with him." Yes, you did. You knew that there was enough wrong with him where you could manipulate him into murdering your fucking mother. Nick tells the investigator about his personalities. He completely believes that they're real. Gypsy knew that she could use that. Like, oh, well, then I'll make up personalities to go with those personalities and I can... she's a mastermind. In text up on the screen, it says almost all of Gypsy's relationships with Nick was online roleplay. She's still doing that with Ken. And then it says she would chat and share photos with him while Dee Dee slept. All the videos we've seen are in complete daylight in the middle of the living room, but naked. But okay, it was when Dee Dee was sleeping. I mean, I'm sure some of them, yes, Dee Dee is sleeping, but it seems she was home alone a lot. Gypsy's blaming it all on love. I was so in love with him, I didn't know what I was doing. Nick he was so sweet in interrogation. He's like, I encouraged her that she should just like try to keep walking, get out of her wheelchair. Like, poor guy, man. He's obviously a sick fuck and he's in prison where he should be, but poor guy, never saw it coming. Now they're telling the movie theater story when they met at Cinderella, and she says that she decides to kill after the movie because the movie didn't go well. Dee Dee didn't like Nick, so she's like, oh, what the fuck am I gonna do? Oh, I'll just have her killed. Which we are always saying. She killed her mother for a boyfriend. But everyone's like, no, it's not that. That's not why it happened. Gypsy just said herself. She decides to kill her mother because the movie didn't go well because she didn't like her boyfriend. So if she didn't like her boyfriend, she had to go. Open your eyes, you guys. In this entire documentary, not once does she mention the reason that she had her mother killed was because she finally snapped about a surgery. She doesn't mention a surgery in this documentary. That story comes later. And debunked. She's doing the same crying thing that she does today. She pretends that she's fucking crying and she keeps going like this to like make sure that like some type of tear comes out, and the constant like, it's so bad. Like, girl, you're not... It's just like her apology to Ryan. And when she makes those videos to Nick pretending to cry. And she has a little wing liner on in her interview. Jail liner. Now Gypsy's talking about how he raped her after the kill. And what I don't get about that is she even says that they were role playing it. It was a role play rape, but she's like, but then I decided I didn't want to do it, so I just started yelling, no, stop, and he wouldn't. But he thinks that you're role playing. Like, did you say the safe word? She doesn't say that. She says a safe word. And Nick even says in the interrogation that Gypsy enjoyed when he was biting her and biting her ear, it was turning her on. And that he got her to fucking orgasm, but he didn't feel pleasure at all. Then we have the brownie video where she makes a joke right after murdering her mother that he's going to be eating her next. Nick's in the interrogation saying how he truly wants a family with Gypsy. He wants that white picket fence and everything. And they only show Nick's interrogation. They never show Gypsy's. Both of his parents are saying how Gypsy's behavior was so weird because she was talking about Dee Dee like she was still alive. She wasn't sad at all. She didn't seem like there was any remorse. Like, she wasn't upset. Her mother was just murdered and she's not upset at all. And Nick's dad mentions how it was weird that she was wearing a wig. And they got fucking Bobby, cousin Bobby. He says, I think Gypsy was the mastermind. Even Erin Lee Carr, after Bobby says that Gypsy was the mastermind, she starts talking about how she does think that Gypsy's like dangerous. And Nick knows he only did it to save her. He thought he was saving her from all this abuse. He thought he was protecting her, which, like, you never murder anybody, but you gotta feel bad for him. Like, he is where he belongs, but you can't help but feel bad, especially his poor parents. Oh, and the interviewer, Erin Lee Carr, she literally says she doesn't have a language other than manipulation and retaliation. I think the thing is that interviewer thought she was like going to go to prison and she was going to grow and change herself, but that never happened. She's still, the only language she knows is manipulation and retaliation. Now Nick's mom is finding out that Gypsy is basically pinning it all on Nick and that there's just no hope for Nick, and it's so sad. She essentially hired a hitman. Normally when you hire a hitman, you go to prison for life. She got so fucking lucky with Mike Scamfield. I hate that man. Christy, they all fucking helped. Like, in this documentary, you could see that they all helped. They show the first call with Christy where she's like, hey, baby. And Gypsy's like, I'm innocent, they're lying. And then Christy and Rod, they found out the truth about, like, the text messages and shit in the courtroom. And Christy mentions how, like, Gypsy looks back at them like, oh no, are you still gonna love me? Even though I'm a sociopath. They did. Gypsy says she's happy that Dee Dee can't abuse her anymore, but she says that she's dead with her fake cry. She says that while Dee Dee was being brutally stabbed, that she was so scared and she was shaking, and she was also high on Xanax. And then a doctor starts talking about how Gypsy has the kind of mind where she can't tell, like, what's normal and what's not normal. She doesn't know what normal is. Even Scamfield, he says that she grew up in a different reality. She doesn't know normal. She says that she wished she had just reached out to her dad. You were in constant contact with your dad on Facebook, Gypsy. What are you talking about? Oh, we got Bobby again. She would have been a normal kid had it not been for Dee Dee. Would she? She has a medical condition that's so serious she doesn't want her future child to have it. That seems like a pretty serious medical issue. But yeah, Gypsy's completely healthy. Then they show a home movie and some lady in the back's like, is that Gypsy? And Christy's like, yeah, when she was normal. She was never normal. She was born sick. They didn't even find out about the microdeletion until 2011. They didn't know why these things were happening. Doesn't help she's a sociopath. I don't know when she became a sociopath. I don't know if she was born a sociopath. I don't know if Dee Dee created her to a sociopath. I don't know. They end it with a cute little meeting in the courtroom, Rod, Christy, and Gypsy, talking about the plea deal. And Rod's like, I wish you got less time. Why did you take the plea deal? And she's like, because I would have gotten life. And if I had gotten life, then I would have committed suicide. Of course, my phone just died. But anyway, so yeah, she said she would have committed suicide if she had gotten life. And they had their little moment, and I honestly couldn't even watch it. It's fucking sickening. So yeah, if you feel bad for Gypsy Rose Blanchard because you've watched Mommy Dead and Dearest or The Act, please do more research. She's starting a podcast to be a voice for survivors when she has lied about her own fucking story millions of times. And she has not helped herself in the last 2 fucking years. She has to keep telling us that she's going to prioritize her family. She's not normal. We don't want someone like this being an influencer or a podcaster for young girls, especially young girls going through trauma.